Live from Studio 3, this is Packaging Today with Evelio Matos, Adam Peak, and Corey Connors. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Monday, August 26th. We got a lot to get to. One of the cool things is we got a guest. We've got a guest today. But before we get to the guest, who is in the green room with Charlie, we brought Charlie back.
We did?
Good.
Yeah,
nobody consulted me about it.
He's fired.
We got who do we got? We got Corey Connors. Corey, you got Sustainable Packaging Podcast. How you doing?
Good morning. Very good. How are you? Thank you for having me on.
We got every Monday. We got Adam Peak, packagingpastor.com, host of the People of Packaging podcast.
Hey, long-time listener, first-time caller. I'm very excited for the show. Thank you.
It's Flash Friday. All right, it is.
I'm feeling demure.
Yeah,
that's
the new trend. I heard.
That's the worst.
Demure. Yeah.
I don't understand
I don't
the
get
trend.
it.
You know what I could do? Hang on, I'm gonna Google it.
It's an audio.
Nice.
That's a good answer.
Thank you. I Google like anytime I have a question, I just go to Google.
I'm a big fan of Google.
Yeah.
I love Google Maps. I think that is my favorite thing they've ever invented.
Invented? I am actually a bigger fan of their plastic-free packaging.
Oh, well,
Maps. That's my favorite thing they've ever invented.
That's pretty new. Yeah, let's talk about that today.
All right. So
notes, Corey.
I have a whole thing here that Miguel gave me about the transition from the old to the new. So
perfect. So
I'm ready.
That's the transition there. We're gonna bring Miguel up.
Hey.
So,
OMG.
Hey.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Miguel.
Hello, guys. How are you? Thank you for having me. Good
Thanks for
morning.
being on.
So
You hear me well? Everything is going well? Awesome.
Amazing. So anybody that's out there, that's listening, that's watching, this is Miguel. And Miguel Arevalo is from Google, the packaging team. And you guys have just gone completely, I was going to say paper free. You guys have gone completely plastic free.
Miguel, I was just showing off this thing that you gave me.
Yes, Corey, thank you.
To show the transition from your old packaging to your new packaging. It's thank you again for giving me this. I've shown it to many people.
No worries. Thank you for showing it.
It's a
Miguel, where are you?
Impressive.
I am actually as a packaging person, usually you have a lot of boxes always around you. So
Right.
just wanted to bring some stuff with me so I can be able to get it out.
Yeah.
Amazing.
No, this is crazy. So like, you can go to the Google blog. There's a full video, and it shows the entire team, which is amazing, which is great because it's not just one person making one decision. It's like a ton, and you can download the guide. It takes you through the whole process, all the different materials. But I got to tell you, the one thing that I love in the video is the sound of the paper.
Yeah.
Right. It is.
It's an experience, isn't it? Yeah. No, I think at the end, what we're trying to do is consumer and our users. Yes, they would like to have the amazing product that is coming in it, but also packaging should be an experience too. Not only for the end of life, but also the moment that it's opening. It should be like a gift, something that is grabbed only for them. So yes, no, our team does an amazing job to make that work. But a lot of very praise video that is in YouTube, and a lot of people is talking amazing things about it. And as you said, it's taking a village, and we have an amazing team. And honestly, I'm very proud of them. It has been fantastic.
No, it's the packaging's super cool. And Corey, you've got an example of the packaging there.
Yeah, Miguel gave me this after I was very thankful to have Miguel on my Sustainable Packaging podcast. And then I saw him, I believe this was at Circularity. And
that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah. He showed me this and I said, whoa, this is amazing. He said, this is for you. And I said, oh, great. So I show how we went from plastic to plastic free. And I think it's just a really cool demo, and exciting what the team at Google has accomplished,
Thank you.
and I commend them for their efforts.
Thank you.
Miguel, I have a question for you. How many
Adam.
times throughout this process did you have to Google
Yeah,
the material you used?
That's it.
Did you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think around around the descriptions, around making sure that we connect with the right partners. It has been. Yeah, we need to be sure that we are actually using the right material so we can be able to make sure that everything that we do is responsible. And building a guide that can be able to share over to the world how we did it, we wanted to make sure that whatever we're saying there, it's true and it's accurate on every sense. Yeah, no, but it's amazing what we can accomplish if we have a mindset together, no, a vision together.
I loved in the video as well that you that you talk about identifying a mill and going to the
Correct.
mill because you kind of had this idea, but I love that you went and identified the mill. And I can just picture a bunch of Google engineers, utilizing Google in order to help make Google's products better. It's like this inceptionary super going on. Pretty cool.
That's cool.
Actually, the story around that is we were looking for a material that was can be able to give us more lightweight, but it's at the same time needs to be stronger, and unfortunately there wasn't too much out there. And of course the cost equation comes to mind, that we need to be sure that it's something that it comes within our economics. And we found this amazing company, Veritiv and Shandong Kylie, which is an amazing mill. They were open to just work around with us, try to see what we can be able to accomplish. And we have in our team Dr. Yang Shang. He is amazing. He's a paper expert. So he was helping around with them. What is the formulation? What is the operation process that needs to happen? What are the actual metrics that we need to accomplish in order to make it much more stronger, much more stretchable? At the end, we need to grab this paper all across, but at the same time needs to hold for all the kinetic forces that goes in drop by, it. And yeah, we were able to find this paper that we're able to be lightweighted, bring recycled content to it, responsible sourcing on it. And yeah, more importantly, it can be able to be have this amazing finish, be printable, and this touch and feel. So it can be able to scream out loud, recycle me. This is something that you can be able to throw it in the recycle binning.
Yeah,
and be something else in the future.
Well done.
If we look at other packaging out there for phones, it's like super smooth, right? Like that's been the direction that everybody does. Is like it's got to be smoother, and it almost has like you can hear the air, you don't hear the paper. This is a complete departure because it's texture. You can see the recycled fibers in there, and when you separate the two pieces, you can hear like the grit and the tooth of the paper just kind of dragging across each other, which is it's a completely opposite. So it is ownable by Google in terms of like, this is the sound that packaging makes. And then the texture on it is immediate to, this is recyclable.
Yep.
And in the video, it says that anybody anywhere can take that box and just throw it in the recycle bin and it will get recycled because it's all mono material.
Correct. I think at the end is convenience is key. It's very hard to try to change the behavior, and consumers, they will not be able to distinguish if this is a plastic that is going to be with one bin, this is another paper that goes in another. It should be something that it should be easy for them. So our main goal was, if they have everything that they can be able to get from the box, you can be able to get this amazing experience, opening your box, get your product out, have it out. But when you're finished with it, you can be able to put everything within the box, just throw it in the recycle bin, and make sure that thing can be able to be coming to another paper in the future. So that was our main goal in that.
And so let's take any brand out there, right, that uses packaging. They can now go to the Google blog. They can download the packaging, the plastic-free packaging guide, and make some decisions. Like, what are the easy decisions that a brand can make today to get away from plastic?
Of course, plastic is important sometimes. So when you specifically food industry, it's very hard to try to completely get away. But we have been in a position where we have been engineering more and more mixed materials in order to try to protect the products inside and be able to deliver to the products and ship it over everywhere in the world. The thing is, it's very hard to separate all those materials later on. So depending on the brand, depending on what they're looking for, I think what the guide is trying to share is there are some decisions that you can be able to keep moving, so you can be able to keep moving forward on a more sustainable solution. So if your goal is try to get away from plastic and your product can be able to withstand it, I think the guide can be able to tell you some features or some materials that you can be able to use in order to have a packaging that still can be able to be strong, can be able to protect, which at the end is the main goal. So it can be able to protect the products inside. But also you can be able to get the vendors, you can be able to get the challenges, the way we try to solve those challenges. So you don't need to turn around the wheels by yourself. And this is also a lot of investment that we have done. So we spend a lot of money to try to get all this research and development being done. But we believe that we all are in this boat together. We wanted to make sure that it's not about what Google can be able to do. It's about what everyone can be able to do. And if we can be able to help others so they can be able to accomplish their goals, so be it. And the other portion of it is the intention that we're trying to deliver is hopefully other people can be able to have other learnings and they will be excited about to share those learnings to the community. So potentially we can be able to learn from them and everyone can be able to raise the boats together. So that was our main goal. And yeah, I'm very happy about the response from everyone and it has been very, very positive, and hopefully a lot of companies can be able to join us in this effort too.
Yeah, and we got a couple of good questions here. We got a question from Chris from Colorado coming in saying,
Thank
to
you, Chris.
recycle, you have to flatten the box.
I think, Chris, what you are asking around is for MRFs and how MRFs are able to segregate this box, collect this box, sort this box, and you can be able to throw it away. Our main intention here was, let's make sure that the consumer understand that getting away from this white box, you are not having these mixed feelings around, is this a plastic, is this a paper? How should I treat this one? So make it evidently something that you can be able to see it and say, yes, this is something that should go on the paper recycle bin. So first check is it can be able to go to the paper recycle bin. Good. When it's been delivered there, we have visited a lot of MRFs. We have been seeing how all these behavior that happening there and what considerations they have. True. Right now here in the US, the main paper is preferred for the MRFs is the big corrugated boxes, because are the ones that are easier to identify, are the ones that can be able to provide much more fiber yields. So, but we wanted to have a solution that we're not going to make our box much more bigger just to make sure that can be able to have a much better, let's say, value for the MRF, because it's contrary to our carbon footprint. We wanted to make sure that it's something that can be as close as the product that we're trying to protect. So for your question, no, we don't expect that you flatten the box. We expect that you can be able to hold everything in together. You can be able to throw it in there. Hopefully at the MRF, they can be able to identify this when they are separating and sorting. It's 1 second, 2 second decision that these people needs to make, but at least they see something that is evidently paper. They can be able to get it in and they can be able to throw it away. We were able to see a lot of the, a lot of these white boxes before, and they were segregated separately from the paper waste stream because they understand that these have some PP lamination on it, and they don't want to mess up their machines. Sorry, Adam.
No, it's fine. That was my question is, helping obviously because I really like Chris's question, right? Which is how does Google then help the MRFs to understand this box is different than the white box? There's the outside, but unfortunately there's a lot of greenwashing which occurs, and a MRF they have to sell as close to, like, they want to get the best possible product out the door so they can maximize the value of the recycled material, right? So I've
Mhm.
always been curious about not just for Google's, all paper boxes, but there's because of a lot of it, advancements that you've done. I think about brands like Sonos as well. You
Yeah.
have a tremendous amount of Legos in the background, and I know Lego's been doing, they've been really pushing for as much as they can. So it's been cool to see, but I'm like, what happens when the box is three-dimensional and reads the MRF? And if it's dependent on a person to identify,
Mhm.
or are we seeing more kind of the infrared technology? They can say like, this is paper, no problem detected, sorted out into paper. Maybe that's kind of
I
outside of
can,
the
no, no,
scope
no,
of the
no.
conversation, but
I can tell you. So I think what I can share, and Corey knows him, Robert Little, Ray Banatao within our team. Hopefully, you can be able to. You have been able to reach out to them. They have done an amazing job developing an open source an open source algorithm where they can be able to connect a lot of cameras, and the cameras can be able to identify form and of the different waste that goes in the MRF, so it can be able to be identifiable much more easier. So they have worked a lot on these algorithms, and they have shown a lot of these demos within the team. So these can be able to increase the overall rate of the sorting part that goes through it. Also, their main goal was not only for the paper and the boxes solution that we have done, they are seeing a much wider spectrum of this. But I've seen that they have been able also to identify bottles, and working along with Ray and his team, they have been able to create a solution that can be able to identify also the type of plastic that goes in that particular bottle, just using vision systems. So they have been able
Right.
to connect both the machine learning capability of the algorithm and the molecular capability of the material that goes in it, so it can be able to be sorted and separated. So it's not part of our team, of course. Our team delivers from the product portion of our hardware, but I think Google has been pushing all across on different dimensions, so it can be able to try to tackle this challenge at the end that the
I
world
love it.
has, so we can be able to have a much better sorting and recovery of our materials.
Yeah, and one thing you notice on the packaging is that there's not, um, it's not covered in graphics. There's not full stamping and all these different textures. So really, you have for as small as the box is,
Sure.
you do have a lot of the paper showing, right? And that's
Mhm.
what makes it. And I think when you see it, it looks like newsprint, so it identifies as paper pretty quickly. Just visually, and if somebody touches it, you can definitely get a sense that there's nothing covering it. Um, I would say the challenge though is in some of the MRFs, like where you do that manual sorting, is if somebody were to pick it up and they hear stuff inside of it,
Yeah.
Mm.
then that has to go to a different area, right? Because they're not going to open it up and rifle through and see what else is in there. So I think it's going to be I think it'll be a process of the MRFs learning, because once you see,
Right.
you see that orange Nike box going down the conveyor, you're like, all right, that's paper, right? You know it.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be a learning process as well on the back end. But no, I mean, just making things that are easy for somebody to know that they can just put in one bin without having to separate. There's a higher likelihood that's going to make it there. I
I
think
agree.
that's the biggest
Yeah.
challenge.
Miguel's
Yeah.
point is really, really appropriate too. Miguel, what you were talking about with the photographs of the items are becoming so critical for the MRFs, because the AI sorting technology now identifies it and hopefully gets it out of the system before it has to go to a human eye and be pulled out manually. But I think that's so exciting that the work that Google has done with that as well is a game changer. So we
Yeah.
commend you for that as well.
Thank you.
I like John's comment here too.
Yeah.
It's like the nicer the packaging, the more chance you're going to keep it, right?
Yeah, that's a great point, John. Yeah,
Is that just for packaging people, or is that just for everybody?
I'm a holder.
It's for
too.
everybody.
I agree with you.
Everybody.
Packaging
Yeah,
is
no.
for all the people.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a memento or it's the sentimental value around it, but yeah, it's something that happens, and also we have found that a lot of people holding all this amazing stuff. It's just important that they can be able to throw it away responsibly. So ideally, it can be able to be something else later. But yeah, the sentiment is there.
Yeah, we got a question here from Kazim on, considering the European market and the impact of PPWR. How do you assess recyclability of packaging when using UV coating in your inks?
I love it, Kasim. Actually, we when we were working on our coating, so the main intention, let's get away from PP-LAM. Let's make sure that we can be able to get away from the plastic. So we review, I would say, more than 50 inks and coating solutions to try to see which are the ones that can help to work with our suppliers, that can be able to be repurposable and recyclable. For our particular case, and a lot of these, you can be able to see it in our guide, we went a little bit more in depth in there. We work along with WMU, Western Michigan University. There's a university here in the US where they have a repurposable and a recycling testing center. It's amazing. So basically what you do is you send over their packaging, and they can be able to make a quantitative assessment on it to try to see how much fiber you can be able to recover, if there is any operational challenges when you produce them, and also the inking capabilities, how well, how easy you can be able to remove the inks from your paper, so it can be able to come a much more higher recycled material. So we were able to test all that, making sure that whatever solution we provided can be recyclable, can be able to meet all those particular requirements. The UV coating and the ink solution delivers that. Still, there are some challenges that we're working on, specifically on the inking part. It can be recyclable, but it's not where we want it to be to try to remove all these different inks. So we're actively working so we can be able to move on a much more easy inkable solution that can be able to get away from it and be able to have a much more higher fiber quality that is coming out from it. So we took all that. I invite you, check out the guide. There is a lot, the steps that we take in order to make it work. Who do we work with, and what were results on that one? But thank you for the question.
The thing I think that's great about the paper-based solution, when I think about kind of going back to the end of life, is let's pretend like it doesn't get sorted. It's like, well, then what happens? Well, if the whole solution ends up in the environment, right? It's likely to break down on some level, right? It's a cellulose based, so the worst case is that packaging doesn't end up in a landfill or as part of the circular economy. And that's where I think we're seeing a lot of these paper-based solutions come, is to say, we as a brand can only be we want to be responsible for as much as we can. So yeah, we really want it to be part of the recycling stream, and we want to make it so that it is something that can be, repulpable and recyclable. And if it doesn't end up there, if some, kid is so excited and he gets his new Google Pixel phone and he chucks the packaging out the window, don't do that, kids. That's littering. But if that happens, it's like, it still can end up it's still going to be least impactful versus other sorts of materials, right? There's various other materials that can be done. So
that is correct.
And especially at the volume that you guys are creating packaging, I think it's really, really commendable. So
thank you, Adam. And just going to the previous question, I think Europe is ahead on and we are checking closely exactly what they do, what they request. France is specifically getting away from mineral oils. It's important, and it's something that we as a global brand, we should be able to accomplish, not only for that particular market, but we accomplish it for everyone. So ideally, even though the legislation move later on, we are already there, and we are sharing to the world how we do it. So potentially others can be able to take advantage from it.
Yeah. So then, talking about Europe, how many different icons or pieces of information are on your box, like on the back of it? Like, do you have a Triman logo? Do you have because it's gotten crazy with the number of icons that have to go on these items. Like, is this something you have to do as well?
It has, yes. I think any any companies is trying to make that work, and at the end, it relates how much real estate actually you have. I think for the phone boxes. So I think a couple of things that we make decisions for this one that I would like to share with you. The first one is, as you know, maybe on the guide you can be able to see it. We have a sleeve that goes all across. This is the intention are too, and I think going on your question, Corey, is we wanted to make sure that the consumers, they can be able to see, thank you, Charlie, perfectly there. So we needed that
Great job,
our users, we know that we have an amazing product, but we want to make sure that our user identify that. So as a brand, we decided that we still need to show what the color of the CMF of the product that they are getting. Also, we need to glorify the product so they can be able to see it. So the sleeve was needed. The other portion is we need to have something that can be tamper evident. So in case the user can be able to decide, maybe this is not for me, they can be able to bring it back. There is a way we can be able to know that the product has been opened and is being delivered. And so there are this portion of security that wanted to make sure that the product has been delivered properly. But going back to your question on the symbols, the main intention to add the sleeve there is we can be able to make differentiation of our SKUs in the sleeve, but be able to maximize the MOQ of our boxes, which is the one that has much higher value from the cost perspective. So in a way, we wanted to make sure that we can be able to get a much better MOQ on the boxes sizes, but also we can be able to identify downstream and in the future, because that's something that happens. We need to maybe when we have more inventory on one side of one region versus the other, we can easily make that change, just making the change on the software that needed to happen on that particular product, but also just changing the sleeve rather than to show the box or so we don't make those decisions, but we wanted to make sure that we make it easier downstream for our partners in logistics. So responsible business, I would say.
So then you've got a sleeve for France, you've got a sleeve for Italy, one from the US, like you've kind of broken it out.
Great.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's possible when you're a large brand and you have the flexibility to kind of handle the distribution, all that stuff. And I'd say for somebody that's on a smaller brand, you may not have that, but there's other ways to do it, right? You can do labels, like maybe where you got your whole pack and you put a label for
labels.
Exactly.
for a specific, logo or icon or anything like that. This thing here, is this a security feature you're talking about?
That is. So this is a label that we actually, Charlie, our team created there. So the intention of that is to be like a lock of our sleeve. So it can be able to hold the sleeve in position. It has a differential adhesive on it. So we have a permanent adhesive on the bottom, but also a soft adhesive or something that can be able to remove easier on the top. So it still can be able to be accessible, can be able to be removable quite easy, but it can be able to hold the position of the sleeve, so it will be delivered between them, aesthetically perfect we intend to. But yes, it's the main goal. But also when you remove it, you can be able to. So it's evident when if you wanted to return it away, the stores can be able to see that the product has been opened. So we needed something that can be able to show that portion too.
Right, because typically you've got, a plastic wrap around a box, and that's like the clear evidence that it's been ripped open and you've gotten in there. But
correct.
But this is cool, and then you've got like this 3D, basically like you've got a raised paper in here that kind of locks it, and then this piece here adheres to that, and then that gives you, like, when you slide it off, I'm sure you've got to have, it creates a lock.
Exactly, like a little lock in there, but it still be able to be separated from the box itself.
Miguel, what I heard is that the label is the most important part of the packaging, and that labels are packaging, that without that label, nobody would know what it was.
Nobody will do it anything. No, I think at the end, there is some truth on that one, Adam. So we need to be sure that consumers, they are buying their product. This is something for them, and they want to have the experience. And the label is key part of that. They need to be sure that it has this anticipation when you are opening this box, and the label needs to deliver that, but at the same time needs to have this balance on it's easy to open, so you don't need to make something that is so hard that no one will be able to rip it off. So it has this it was a challenging portion of the box, but I think our team did an amazing job on this one.
No, they did, man. This is it's funny. We're just talking about the box, right? There's a whole system. There's phone in there that connects to the internet. It lets you Google and pictures, do all sorts of crazy stuff. But we're
If you
just
take
talking about the
pictures,
box.
I saw a commercial the other day that like some dad like takes a picture and says like, show me a recipe using Gemini. It's like, show me a recipe that uses all of these ingredients. And I'm like, that's what I need. It's like, it's
Yeah.
just gonna say like, you just cut the hot dogs and put it in the mac and cheese. I'm like, I knew that. I wanted something else. So you only gave me 2 things, but
Gourmet.
Pop-Tarts in the toaster. More than milk on the cereal.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, insane technology inside the box. But we're just talking about the box itself. It's pretty, it is a breakthrough for a tech company to move away from a lot of this plastic. I know we've seen Sonos do this, and I think this is definitely going to help a lot of brands do that as well, because you've broken it out. You've given all the vendors, you've given your process, you've given your materials. I think definitely people should be downloading this guide, going to Google. Just Google plastic-free packaging guide. You'll find it.
Thank you.
Definitely watch this video because the video is
Really good.
it's it's inspiring to see the focus on packaging as packaging people. You're like, look, we exist
Exactly.
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Miguel,
I
had a quick question. What's next for
sorry.
you? Will you be speaking at events like Pack Expo about what you've done here, or
Yes, I receive I receive a lot, and I'm very grateful to the different teams. I will be on the Recycling Summit, which is happening in Anaheim. I'm very excited about that one.
good?
Also, I will be on SPC Advanced later on the month. I think it's September,
Chicago?
October. Exactly.
Great.
And
See you there.
Sustainability Europe. So Barcelona will be the next thing. Excited
Wonderful.
about that one.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Excellent, guys. One last question here from Kazim is: does Google view UV varnishes positively in terms of sustainability?
Can you repeat again? I didn't saw the question here. Okay.
Yeah, it
I got
says,
some IT issue.
does Google?
See the use of UV light. Of course. I think it's a trend on the positive direction to get away from plastic. So with that, we can be able to get away from these mixed material requirements. Still, there is work to be done. Still, this is something that is recyclable, can be able to get the yield that we wanted. Is not going to mess the overall operation on the recycling stream. The only caveat there is not the inking the way we want it. So we are working on that. We're hoping to get more news maybe at the end of this year, beginning of next one, so we can be able to get a much better solution in there, something that is going to be much more stretchable, something that can be able to make or remove the ink much more easier. Of course, that will be added on the next revision of the guide when we have it ready. But I think we aim for progress, not perfection in a way. So we wanted to make sure that we're taking the right steps toward a much better solution. And yes, if you consider that, I think it's in the right direction where we want it to be.
Love it. I love the progress, not perfection, because otherwise you never
You
never
can
take a
steal.
step forward. Yeah,
Yeah.
You're stuck.
And
Miguel-
UV inks have it's an interesting one, right? Because it's like the speed at which you can cure a UV ink, especially using like low energy LED lights, is from a sustainability perspective really great. The the material makeup of the UV inks and maybe even the de-inking, the thing that makes it great is probably also the thing that makes it hard on the back end. So I agree. There's so much advancement that I think
Balance.
we're excited, and it's exciting from this side, from the packaging manufacturing side, to have big brands, big giant, multinational brands saying, we don't just talk about this stuff we don't just sign agreements. The agreements are great, but
Right.
to actually see you do it, and then not only that, but to share it with the rest of the world for free,
Yeah.
just like
Amazing.
here you go.
Yeah.
I don't have, I'll clap.
Yeah.
Thank you. Christian, my friend.
Yes.
We were in mid school and elementary together. Good to see you, man.
Awesome, man. Miguel, thank you so much for coming on here on our Goofy
Thank you,
show
guys.
and talking about what you guys are doing at Google. Go out there, check out the Google box, feel it, pick one up or two, and let us know what you guys think about it.
I might change.
Yeah.
I might just go. I might have to get a Google phone.
You should.
And
You should.
make the move. I've heard the photo quality is better, for content creators, influencers like us. We
Thank you, Miguel. We appreciate
No,
you.
thank you guys.
thank you.
Have a great
All right,
one.
guys.
Thank you for having me.
Guys,
Bye.
Live from Studio 3, this is Packaging Today with Evelio Matos.